Today I wanted to share with you my top 7 modifications and upgrades that I made to my Lifetime Tamarack Angler 100 kayak.
Oh, this is upgrade living, guys.
I did a previous video on why I feel this is the best budget fishing kayak on the market. Now I want to get into some simple upgrades that you can implement into your kayak that would make it a lot more convenient for you on the water. First I want to start with some of the less expensive, cheaper upgrades that can make a big impact.
Did you say?
Cheap is cheap.
This particular kayak comes with 6 scupper holes. So you've got 2 in the rear tank well section, 2 under the seat, and 2 up front. Now in the summer, you might enjoy having some water on the kayak, but for me personally, I don't like having water coming on me. So I chose to make my own scupper plugs. What I did was I purchased some practice golf ball, drill a hole through it, take some paracord, make a loop, put it back through, tie a knot in it, and now you've got a fairly inexpensive scupper plug. And I would of course recommend that you plug both underneath your seat at a bare minimum, and then if you want to plug others, that's up to you, but for me I plug them all. The next thing I would purchase would be this simple tray it's made by Rubbermaid, and what it does is it can create some great organization for you on your kayak deck. As you can tell, it's already a pretty small space, and this just gives you more organization and keeps it from being down by your feet or down in your lap. And what I did was I drilled a hole through the front and through the back. And from the factory, Lifetime has some bungee cord that they put in these notches on the front hatch. You pull it out of those notches, you put the cord through the hole in the back, the hole in the front, use the stock hook, put it back in place. Now you've got a great tray to put your cell phone, some lures, a water bottle, and it's all out of the way from when you're fishing.
Treat yourself.
The third thing that I would purchase would be a milk crate. It's really inexpensive. It fits really well. And the rear tank well here, these bungees do a great job of holding your milk crate in place. And that's not going to go anywhere. And this gives you another great storage option to put a jacket, a tackle tray, your lunch, and just as convenient and out of the way for while you're fishing.
You treat yourself.
The next thing, definitely an upgrade. It's a little bit more expensive, but this is from Costco. It's a stadium seat, and it happens to fit perfectly in the seat. Doesn't jostle around much. I personally don't bungee it down, but you could bungee this down in case you're worried about knocking it into the water and losing it. But for me, I've never had that issue. But this gives you a firm back, a really firm cushion to sit on, and it's definitely an upgrade over the standard seat, and I highly recommend it.
It's a nice chair, Corinthian leather.
The next purchase, this is around $115, $120. This is the Garmin Striker 4 Plus CV unit. I think a fish finder for any fisherman, especially a kayak fisherman, goes a long way. It gives you temperature of the water, it helps you know the depth that you're fishing in, and then you can also create wave points for places you've been to be able to come back and fish later.
Cool beans.
To go along with just this upgrade, in the box it comes with a stand, and then you've got your screen, and that can rotate on that stand. I have this, actually I use this for dual purpose. I use it on my kayak, and then I also use it when I go ice fishing. And so currently it's on my ice fishing setup. But this stand is a round base, and what I did was I took this tray, I drilled 3 holes that were part of the base, and then I riveted that stand, or that base for that Garmin Striker 4 into this tray. So that's there, and then the stand slides into that base, and now it's all on this. Put this back on, and now you've got your fish finder here. You still have that room to put your phone and whatever else you want in there for organization.
Cool beans.
What comes included with your Garmin is your transducer. This bracket comes with it as well. You simply screw these screws in, And then now, one other purchase I'm going to make is this is a Scotty mount. This is the number 140. It's designed specifically for kayaks and sups.
What's up?
And then you go to the hardware store and you purchase this bolt with a wing nut. And so that, you put this whole bracket together. You have this base that comes with the Scotty mount. And what I chose to do was I put bolts with washer and nut on the back side, drilled 4 holes, put those nuts on, held that in place. Now I've got a great mount. It's really nice in the kayak.
Cool beans.
And then what I would do is I would zip tie all of this together so it's nice and clean. It's not going to snag on anything. And then I fished this transducer cable to a hole that I drilled. It's just similar to this location, but it's up front. And this is where you would put a carabiner for like a tool with a lanyard on it. I didn't ever use it for that purpose, so I drilled a hole there, fished my transducer line through, and then you would again coil up your transducer wire, put some zip ties to make it nice and tidy, pulled it up through, drill a hole through the cover of the hatch cover, fish that through, and then I have my power cable that I also fish through this hole. And then what powers this is a simple lithium battery. This is a 15 amp hour. I got this waterproof case. Put my battery in there, put the wires for my plug, and then I Velcroed some strips on the bottom so that there's 2 other Velcro strips in there. This fits perfectly for the size of the kayak pole. Drop it in, lock it into place with the Velcro. You attach your power cable to the battery, close your lid, fish your power and transducer wire up through. It sits on your stand right there. It's perfect. Out of the way. You still got plenty of room to fish and you're not worried about the clutter.
Cool beans!
One of the other upgrades that I did do was, this is just an anchor, and this is an old clothesline reel. I took all the clothesline line out, put paracord on there, fed it back through. There's a lot of videos on YouTube, you can look this up. But now this is just a 3-pound anchor to keep you in place on the water. So then I put that all together, and then you can drill 2 holes in your crate and zip tie this on there. So that way if you decide maybe this anchor isn't enough for you, or maybe you don't want it on here, you can cut the zip ties off. And then also if you were to get stuck and there were high winds or something, you didn't have a knife available, this could snap off pretty easily. But simply you put that there, and you put your anchor in there. This sits nice and flush, and then when it comes out, you let that there. So it's great.
Treat yourself.
And then one of the other purchases that I would make was this. This is for your anchor rope to go through as a tie-off. And I bolted this down to the kayak as well. So those are 7 modifications and upgrades that for me made a big difference. Check the links below in the description. Feel free to modify it however you'd like, but those are the things that I chose that really made an impact and a difference on my fishing in my kayak.
Treat yourself.